Imagine this for a second. You wake up and your smoke alarm is blaring. Your room is pitch black, but it's not darkness. It's smoke. Thick, choking smoke. You can't see anything. How on earth do you get out? Today, we're going to break down the science of escaping a fire when you're essentially blind.
You know, this quote from a coroner's report, it just says it all. It's the terrifying reality of a house fire. See, the biggest killer usually isn't the flames. It's the smoke. It's this overwhelming, disorienting force that can make you a complete stranger in your own home.
I want you to really think about that. You're awake, the alarm is just screaming in your ears, but you literally cannot see your hand in front of your face. Every hallway, every door you know like the back of your hand is just gone. So what do you do?
To answer that question, we first have to understand exactly what you're up against. And believe me, it isn't just a lack of light. It's an active, aggressive enemy. Here's the first critical fact you need to wrap your head around. You have no time. We're talking less than 3 minutes for a room you know by heart to become a completely impossible maze. That internal map of your own home you have in your head, it gets wiped clean, just like that.
But there is one key piece of physics that's actually working for you. Hot, toxic smoke rises, and that means the cleanest, most breathable air is going to be down near the floor. It's the whole reason firefighters drill this into your head. Get low and go. Your only real path to safety is likely on your hands and knees.
Okay, so dealing with the physical barrier of smoke is one thing, but that's only half the battle. The other half is happening right inside your own head.
So in an emergency like this, your brain is just under total assault. That piercing alarm, it causes cognitive overload. Adrenaline floods your system, you get that classic fight or flight response, and it just leads to panic. And this panic causes something called cognitive narrowing. It's basically tunnel vision. Your brain becomes so focused on the immediate threat that it literally misses the little cues that could save your life, like a familiar chair or a door that's slightly ajar.
And this research here, it really highlights the core problem. Your brain, in an attempt to protect you, starts filtering out anything it decides is non-essential. The danger, of course, is that in a smoke-filled room, the only thing that gets through is the fear itself.
And all of this, it points to a really fundamental blind spot in the one device we all trust to keep us safe.
Okay, so here's the problem in a nutshell. Your smoke alarm is a fantastic alert system. It screams danger, wake up, get out. But that's where its job ends. It's not a guidance system. It has no way of showing you the way out.
And that's the gap. Right there. The alarm wakes you up, only to leave you totally lost in a toxic, blind maze. It gives you the warning, but it doesn't give you the way.
So, how do we bridge that gap? How do you give someone a clear destination when their sight is gone and panic is taking over? Well, the answer is actually brilliantly simple. You have to give the brain one single, unmissable thing to focus on.
So let me introduce you to the sound-activated emergency light. This isn't just a light, it's a beacon. It's a device designed to do the one thing a smoke alarm can't, show you the way out. You place it low on an exit door, and it becomes the single vital target you need when you're crawling on the floor, completely disoriented.
And the process is just genius in its simplicity. First, a tiny microphone listens specifically for the unique sound frequency of a smoke alarm. It ignores other noises. Second, a chip inside verifies the sound is a real alarm, so no false positives. And finally, boom, it activates a powerful strobing light right on the exit door, creating a beacon you just can't miss.
All right, let's get into the science of this. Why is a flashing light so much more effective than, say, a regular emergency sign?
It's all about how our brains work under stress. A steady light, yeah, it can easily be ignored or missed, but a flashing light, psychologists call this a supernormal stimulus. It's an exaggerated signal that our brain is literally hardwired to notice. It hijacks your attention, making it impossible to ignore, and cutting right through that panic. And the data absolutely backs this up. A study from London University measured how far you could see different lights through thick smoke. A standard backlit exit sign, visible from about 5 meters. But an orange or white light was visible from almost double that distance. Why? Because the longer wavelengths of light, like white and orange, they just scatter less and punch through smoke way more effectively. But visibility is only half the story. The real key here is trust. In experiments, only about half the people would actually follow a standard exit sign in an emergency. But when you mark that same exit with a flashing light, that number jumps to 90%. That simple change makes people trust the path to safety. So let's see how this all comes together, how this technology can transform a panicked, blind search into a clear pathway to survival.
And the impact is just astounding. One study concluded that having clear, illuminated pathways and exits, like a strobing light on a door, can reduce evacuation times by up to 50%. In a fire, that isn't just a number. That is the difference between life and death.
And we've seen the tragic consequences when guidance fails. At the Grenfell Tower fire, the stay put advice was tragically kept in place for far too long. By the time it was changed, dense, toxic smoke had already made the stairwells impossible to navigate for so many people, trapping them inside. It's just a devastating reminder that an exit you can't find is no exit at all.
So we end right where we began. We all trust that a smoke alarm will be our first line of defense. And it is. It will wake you up. But what happens next? That's the question that really, truly matters. When you're on the floor, crawling through total darkness, what's going to be your guiding light?